That's right, that's cool. Hello and welcome everybody to RSL Active's yoga, the veteran yoga, and we're starting our first round of 6 here at Riverton. And what an amazing turnout it is.
Yeah.
So a big welcome to you all. Riverton RSL, amazing. And so I'm buzzing. And my name's Andy Fermo. I'm a veteran. Just a bit of background for me, actually. I need to acknowledge as well, for those returning back, big welcome to you as well. And for everyone that's online, a welcome to you that'll do the playback. So, firstly, my name's Andy Fermo. I'm a veteran, an ex-first responder. I served 10 years in the Australian Army, and as a contemporary veteran, I served 2 tours of Afghanistan. During my second tour, though, I was exposed to what I call the trauma triangle, which was 3 successive traumatic events, all IED related. Following my service, I was medically discharged from my injuries and developed PTSD. Over the last 10 years or so, I've been out for 14 years now, it's been a series of ups and downs. In 2018, though, there was a combination of unforeseen events where I found myself in a really dark spot, and we became homeless. We were living in Noosa at the time. Terrible, as a beautiful spot as it sounds, that's where we were. And that's where I was introduced to breathing, mindfulness, and also later on during COVID, yoga. So having suffered PTSD for that time, I found that I needed something to be able to help me self-regulate and self-actuate, and that's where a friend who was also a veteran taught me these techniques to be able to self-regulate on my own terms in between those appointments to the specialists like the psychiatrist or the EP and everything like that. And that's been a transformative effect for me, which I started in 2018 with the breath work. So that's really helped me be able to self-regulate on my own terms. As you know, during COVID, we were all locked down and we couldn't go to things like the gym or do any of the other things socially. And then also for me, I was coming to grips with having been formerly a Special Forces soldier, is that I wasn't able to do the things that I used to be able to do, like jump out of planes, lift really big heavy weights, and from all my injuries. So that's how I discovered part of the yoga, was to be able to learn techniques that could supplement my specialist appointments and the specialist self-care plan, and also go through with COVID and do things at home. So then that way I could still be active and move. And then I also saw the benefits of being able to combine the breath to movement, which yoga is all about. So that's just a little bit about me. Over the next 6 weeks, what we're going to be doing is, if you've come today and you've not done yoga before, can I have a show of hands actually? Who's done yoga before or not done yoga? Mine's done yoga before. All the rest? Oh, you have done yoga? Excellent. So welcome back to the practice. I know that you've done yoga at the back as well. Just a little bit. And for those of you who haven't, don't be alarmed. This is a little bit different. How I go through over the next 6 weeks is we'll be building on the foundation blocks. So by the end, we'll be doing a full flow. But each week, because I don't know where we are in terms of injuries and sort of little range of movements, is over the coming weeks what we'll be doing is setting up through each section of a yoga flow what's best for you and what will work for you, so then that way we can build the foundations for a regular practice, whether it's here at RSL Active or whether you follow online through our online platform or on YouTube, or through the playback, which is also on our teaching platform, so that you can follow with confidence and then also know what the modifications are for you. All right, so we're going to take it slow, so then that way we know we'll be building on it. And if you can have a look in front of you, that I see some of you have brought your own mats, which is amazing, but you also see blocks, knee pad, the knee protection, as well as the straps. Now these are here for you to be able to help you get into some of the postures that we may encounter over the next 6 weeks. And please, if you find yourself in discomfort or in pain, that's no good, right? Discomfort's good because if you haven't stretched certain muscles in a while, we're stretching them and building the strength and range of motion. But I do not want you in pain. So if you could please just give me a show of hands. If there are anyone carrying any injuries or any spinal, any back, right? Yeah, back, knees. Oh, all right, excellent, no worries. So I will be giving modifications. Great there with the chair as well. That's also a great prop to enable you to get the range of movement. So we'll be covering all these things. And just so that you know, for the guys at home or whoever can't make it, I am recording, so I'll endeavour not to have any faces on there for privacy reasons to support if that's your wishes. But we do record, so then that way the veterans that can't make it also have an opportunity to be able to practice at home in their own time. All right, if you do need a drink, please go ahead. So I already need one, so I'm going to grab one. I'll be stopping at certain points during the flow. And if you find yourself, sort of feeling that you're becoming overwhelmed or not following, just stop, and then we'll pick it up I'll show you where the moves are that you can sort of wait for us to come in, and over the weeks that'll become apparent. Then you can sort of stop and then rejoin. So then that way you're not feeling that you're being left out. Okay. All right, so from here, what we're going to do is take a seat, and then, yeah, you can wear shoes if that's what preferably, bare feet. We'll get there. And then, so over the next 6 weeks, we're also working on a fair bit of balance and some breath work there, so that we can really sort of make sure that it's more for functional movement in the real world as opposed to getting into the Instagram pretzel moves. Okay, so that's not me. I can't do any of those moves, and so it's just all about being functional for everyday life. All right, so let's just start off now and arrive on our mat on the ground. So if we could grab a seat or grab a chair. If you do need to place, if it's uncomfortable, just sit in any way that you feel is comfortable for you. So if it's sitting down on one, ideally you'd like to be able to feel both sit bones on the ground, if that works for you, or you can place a block underneath your knees to be able to, if you have not sat in a cross-legged position in a while, it might be uncomfortable. So what we're going to be doing in yoga is ideally a 60-minute Hatha yoga, beginner-friendly and trauma-informed class. Now, everything is all an invite or suggestions where you have choice. So if you don't want to do the exercise or you're feeling puffed out, you don't have to do it. It's all about your choice to be able to go into the next moves, and we can meet you at the next one. All right, so the first thing in getting comfortable is just making sure that we can arrive on the mat and then sit down. So if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, close your eyes. Otherwise, I'll invite you to just take a soft gaze in front of you, looking maybe 45 degrees at the floor. It doesn't need to be focused. And we're just going to quickly go internal and arrive on the mat. And the reason why we do this is then we're checking whatever thoughts we might have at the door, and giving yourself that opportunity, allowing yourself to be able to invest in your own self-care for the next 45 or 60 minutes. So if you're just having a look internally gazing, if your eyes are closed, just imagining the tip of your nose where we're gazing to or in front of you, is just scanning your body about where we might feel we might need some TLC today, what's sore, what we can work on over the next few weeks. And we don't need to shape any breath at the moment. All right, so over the next few weeks, I'll invite you to set an intent at this section while we're arriving on the mat, or we can use one that I suggest. And my suggestion today is appreciation for rocking up and having a go. So that's my intent for today. Alright, so what we'll do now is we're going to, you can breathe in through the nose or through the mouth, whatever comfortable for you. And take a big breath in and exhale. Soften the shoulders. Alright, we're just getting comfortable here. You can wiggle around, it's all cool. We don't need to be so rigid. Inhaling and exhaling. Alright, so what we're going to do from here is we're just going to wake up the body a little bit with some tapping. Alright, so getting the right hand, we're going to start on the side of our neck and we're going to start tapping with the ends of your fingers just on the side of the neck. Sometimes when we're sleeping, and especially if we sleep on our side, we can get a little bit stiff in the neck. So let's start off here. We can work our way on the chest, coming across the top here of the top of the chest. Switching the hands around now, coming around on the other side of the chest. Alright, give it a good old tap there with your fingers. Alright, you know how hard you can press on yourself. Alright, now with the right hand again, with the palm, we're going to start going down here. Give yourself a wake up. Alright, maybe give yourself a bit of a tap on the side here again. And then on the right, switch hands. This is also known as somatic tapping, and we're just telling our body, yes, we're going to be doing something, we're going to be prepping for a little bit of movement now. Awesome, excellent work everyone. Let's start with the top of the head. We can roll the shoulders as needed. Is maybe just doing some yes and no, so tucking the chin and then looking up. You don't need to put your neck all the way back, we're just warming up our neck. So we can breathe in as we look up and then breathe out as we look down. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. So you can choose to breathe in or out through your mouth. We can learn about shaping the breath through our nostrils a little bit later on. 1 more. Breathe out. Alright, now we're going to be doing some no's. Right, we say no quite a lot. So we're going to be just looking from left to right. And imagine we're pivoting from the base of our neck to the top of our head. Alright, so inhaling, looking to the right, exhaling, looking to the left. 1 more time. Now we're going to do some ear to shoulders, starting with the left ear. So it'll be left, and then inhale, exhale. Right, inhale, center. Right, stretching the side of the neck. 1 more time each side. Alright, so we're going to be warming up now our lungs like a balloon when we're at a party. We need to warm up those lungs, and especially if we haven't used them before. So what I'll be asking you is just to see where you notice when we're doing it, it's like a 3-part breath. We're going to start off belly breathing, low, and then the next part of the breath is up in the chest, and then the very top is in the top of the mouth. So we're going to be expanding our lungs and then prepping it for movement. So from here, hands in front, we're going to breathe in, lower, middle, top, looking to the hands, looking to your thumbs, and then exhaling, and then deflating like a balloon. Alright, doing this 3 more times, inhaling, breathing in through the nose of the mouth, all the way to the top. At the top, let's see if we can sip in through the mouth. 1 extra bit of air, another one, and then exhaling. So like when we're stretching a balloon for a party, we want to stretch that out a little bit. This is what we're doing here now. So 2 more, inhaling. At the top, take 2 sips. Relax, second sip, and then... So those 2 sips just allow us to get that little bit more air in, stretching the lungs. Inhaling. To the top, 2 sips, and then exhaling. This next one's going to be a bit different. I'm going to give a quick demonstration. Is we'll do a 3-part breath to the top, and then we're going to rotate around. So we're not leaning, we're imagining the top of the forehead and our sit bones is where we're pivoting from, and we're going to reach across to the opposite knee and then place the hand down by our side to give us some support. Now we don't need to we're not birds, we don't need to turn our neck all the way around, we're just turning to the to where we feel the stretch, and then feeling when we do 2 breaths where the air's going. So maybe we'll be stretching the side of our side ribs. So we'll be turning to our left, sorry, our right, sorry, I'm left and right, so I'm trying to find out which way of the brain. And so inhaling, looking to thumbs, and then exhaling, hand comes across. All right, so 2 breaths here. Exhaling. And notice where that air goes. Now when we release, or we're moving into a position as well, right, we always try and do that with the breath. So we're going to set, inhaling, hands come back up, and then down, releasing. I'm going to do the opposite side now. Inhaling, hands looking to sky, looking to thumbs, and exhaling, rotating to the opposite side, which is to your left. Inhaling for 2 full breaths. And take notice if this side is a little bit different to the other side. Inhaling to release, hands back up, eyes to sky, and then down. All right, one more time each side. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, you might feel cracks and creaks, that's okay. 2 full breaths. 1, 2, inhaling, eyes to sky, and exhaling. All right, left hand side now. As we exhale. All right, if you're in the chair and with the loose hand, you can also grab the back of the seat. So take your breath in here in your own time. Inhaling. Alright, so we're warming up the spine slowly. And the last one in this seated position, so if you feel that need to, you can cross your legs and uncross them, or you can, have them out, whichever works for you, is the side stretch. So from here is we're going to be, I'll give a demonstration. Again, it'll be on the left side, that's stretching, is inhale up. We're going to just grab our wrist that we're going to be stretching and then leaning slightly to the side, but we're imagining that the sit bone, right, on the ground is spiking in, and we're reaching from our fingertips to the sky, and then our sit bone on the opposite side is the one that's spiking into the ground, and then 2 full side body stretches there. So we'll be starting off leaning to our right and stretching the left hand side. So inhaling, looking to sky, grabbing the wrist, left wrist with our right hand, and exhaling, and just leaning over slightly as far as you feel the stretch. Right, with 2 full body breaths here. 1, 2, inhaling, come up straight and down. Alright, so how I like to be able to do this is by numbers, coming in by numbers and then breathing out by numbers, just like we did in the military or as a first responder. So now it's going to be the left hand side that we're moving to, so inhaling, looking to fingers, 2, 3, grab wrist, 2, 3, and exhaling. And then reaching up with our fingers and spiking our sit bones down. 2 full breaths here. And when we're on the out breath, maybe you can imagine, is we're spiking into the ground and trying to stretch that bit more, even though you might not be. 1 more breath. Inhaling to center. And back down. Alright, sometimes that might be a bit on the shoulders, so if you've got some bum shoulders, let's give them a bit of a wiggle, and then we'll be doing 1 more each side. Alright, from here, hands, inhaling, right hand grabs left wrist, and exhaling, leaning to the opposite side. reaching up to the top and then spiking down with our sit bones, 2 full breaths. See if you could notice your side ribs opening up. One more time. Inhale to set, coming out of it, and then exhaling, hands down, shoulders, give them a bit of a loosen up. One more time on the left hand side now, so it's our right hand that's going to be going over. Inhale, grab with our left wrist, and exhaling, spiking down and reaching for the sky. 2 full breaths here. One more, straighten out, and exhaling. Alrighty, so when we say gaze to the sky, you don't necessarily need to if that feels uncomfortable for you for the moment. Looking straight or just in that general direction is also sufficing. Okay, so what we'll do here now for the moment, let's just have a bit, that was a great move there, thanks for prompting me. Let's maybe lean back on our hands, we can have them to the side or facing to the front, knees out with our toes facing the front. Alright, and just having a look, let's lift our toes and place them down. Right, a lot of the time we do use our feet so much, it keeps us mobile, right? Lifting up and coming down. So now we're just going to warm up our back a little bit by just dipping our knees. They don't need to touch the ground each way. This is what we call windshield wipering, okay? So at some points when we countering some poses, this is what we'll be calling windshield wipers and wiping the knees. You can do this in prone position, or you can do this standing or in the lying position. Most commonly, it's when we're sitting or when we're lying down. Fantastic work. Alrighty, so from here, I'm going to find your way to your knees. In the chair, that's perfectly fine. I'll show you a modification for this in a moment. We're going to be doing what we call cat-cow. Alright, so I'm just going to set this up and then I'll get to the bits in the moment so that everyone can feel the cat-cow and we can feel that in our own times. If you need, with your knees, so from here, you'll see if you've got some of the mats, the lines help you with your alignment. Okay, so let's start off with from the back here. Alright, so just say pretending we're in the garden, we're doing some gardening, and we need to be able to do some stuff, right? These are some of the things where we're looking at. So, if we're looking down, and you've got your knee pads, alright, so place them down, place the knee pads and your knees on there, shoulder width apart, so that your legs are comfortable, facing straight down. If you're on the chair, have a look where your knee placement is and where your feet are. Yes, excellent. So place your feet shoulder width apart and your knees now is tracking straight forward and back. From here, we're looking at our knees are underneath our hips. From here, what I want you to do then is imagine looking down and we're going to come into this. This is what we're coming, it's called tabletop. So we're coming down to all fours. Our hands are going to be splayed, so splay your hands if you're in the chairs as well, and then place them on the knees. Fantastic work. And then from here, we're going on to all fours. Now you can choose to tuck your toes or have them flat. It's not a problem. So we're going to be keeping them parallel with the back. Hands are splayed slightly, all right? And what we're looking for now is the cup or the palm of the hand to be in contact with the ground. Our fingers, we don't need to have them so flat, but maybe you might want to imagine the tips of your fingers like Spider-Man. We're trying to grip that mat. So have a bit of a feel there at the moment. That's for that textile sort of feeling. And this will become more apparent when we get into some of the other moves. So what we're doing now is setting the foundations. So from here, our hands are underneath our shoulders, and our gaze, if we're not looking here, is pretty much in front of us. So we're looking up to 45 degrees, so we're not dumping on the back of our neck, or we're looking in between our hands. So let's have a look at this now, and just have a bit of a feel for this. Right, this is called balancing table. From here, so just have a bit of a feel around that. You can play around, so it's called intuitive. So just see where you are, see where you move your hips around, maybe see where your shoulders are going. So we're just really feeling for this. While I give the guys with the chair a bit of a warm-up. So if you want to shift up to the edge of the seat a little bit where your sit bones are touching, from here, one of the things here with the hands is to put your hands down like this on the 45 degrees, right? So pull the shoulders back, our knees and our feet are wide, and then our palms could go on the side. So then that way we know our knees are in alignment with where our body is. Okay, so we can just now feel, if we were talking about that before, is cupping our hands and our fingers over the knees. That's like the gripping that we're doing with the floor. Okay, from here, we can actually just feel that on the side, you know, that's it. Is that how you used to dance in the 80s? All right, there's a thing going on around the moment how you dance in the 80s, which is pretty cool. All right, so from here, we're going to be doing what we call cat-cow. It's a foundation move, and it's for the warming up of the spine. So for all of us that have got some sort of back problems or anything, this allows us to be then to really see, and if you need to come out of it, that's it, just shake it off, right? Because this on the wrists can be one, so you can shake it off or stand up. Right, from here, I'll demonstrate if you need to shake off or pull off gear because it's getting a bit hot. It's called cat-cow, and it's a transition to warm up and flex that back. Right, from here, shoulders underneath, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And what we're doing is just dipping our belly and then looking forward a bit. We don't need to look all the way back. We're just dipping our belly, pointing our tailbone to the sky, and then sticking our chest out like this, like the CEOs coming in presenting medals on parade. All right, that's what we're doing, sticking the chest out. And then the next bit, that is our cow position. We're looking forward, maybe 45 or straight ahead. And then from here, we exhale, we round the back, we tuck in our pelvis, and we can imagine that by pulling up, and we push our hands away, and the last thing to do is that the chest comes down. All right, bend down, chin on chest for any of you that did parachuting. All right, inhaling, looking forward, and then exhaling. And then pushing away. So let's try that now in your own time. Inhaling to look forward, fantastic, and then yeah, that's it, and then exhaling, round the back, that's it, excellent work. So that's flexing the spine, amazing work there with the chairs. From here, looking forward, so we can grab our knees, looking forward, sticking the chest out, CEOs coming past, looking up, exhaling, rounding the shoulders. All right, you can even imagine this in the car. Right, we're holding onto the steering wheel, looking up a little bit, and then exhaling. This is where we start to connect our breath to the movement. Okay, so we're going to do 3 more rounds in your own time just to get a bit of a feel for it, and then we can shake it out for the moment because it can be a fair bit on our wrists. Cat-cow. That's it. Yep, and then breathe out, breathe in. So breathe out, yes. Round the back. So when we bring that back, that's it. And then rounding off, push it back up to the sky. So what we're doing is we're round. So in cat, we're pushing our hands away, and then we're looking, our gaze goes down to our knees. Right? And then so we're rounding the back. So what we're doing is we're flexing our back. Yes, that's it. And then looking forward, the back comes down, right? Yes. Loosening up that spine, which is really the more important as well. So if you've had any bits that have been fused from operations in the past or some tightness in the back, this helps loosen it. All right, well done, ladies and gentlemen. So just shake it off a little bit because it can be a fair bit on the wrist. If we've not done this for a while, we can shake it off a little bit. So actually, let's do this because, and next time we'll do a little bit of a warm up for it. Let's now just warm up our hands and forearms a little bit. Right, by opening up and down. Right, flicking the water off the dishes. Right, hands are there. Flick, flick, flick. Give them a bit of a. All right. So from here, we grab a lot of stuff as well. So if you're in the garden or doing some stuff or dishes or in the shed, this is one thing that we can do now that's going to help warm up our hands a little bit. All right, so it's just changing, it's a little pattern that we're doing. So from here, it's going to be right hand to the side, left hand to the side, the right hand to the top, bottom hand. So what we're doing is now warming up our wrists, right? We're walking it around. So don't put too much pressure on. Use the other hand for support, but you can feel that what we're doing is we're stretching our forearms. So right hand, or you can do it right hand and left hand, and then to the back. Right, using that left hand as support, then we're going to switch it around. Right hand over the top, left hand to the side, sorry, right and left. Alright, and then to the back. One more time with the right hand, so we'll start from here. You can do that on your knees as well, guys, so that works. So from the top, we're going to roll over and then stretch the top of our forearm, come back. Now from here, starting with our fingers, right, because giving our fingers some TLC, is rolling them down and then landing our palm on the ground, maybe putting a little bit of weight on it, coming the opposite way. Now if you can go to the back, that's fine. If not, do one more time from the side, coming back. Right, we're working this up, let's shake it off. Now change over to the other side, left hand side. Geez, Andy, my right and left's a little bit wonky today. Alright, from here, from our fingers over the top, rolling over like monkey hands, bang, and then rolling back around. So we're warming up our wrist. And then to the side, rolling down from the fingertips. Alright, and then so when we come back, we'll be able to see if you can notice then, from the fingertips to our palms, is what we spoke about with that grip. Fantastic work. Alright. This next posture we'll be doing is still continuing on warming up the spine. So some side cat-cows, and then I'll give the modification for the chair in a moment. So from here, let's take our tabletop position again. So knees underneath, shoulder width apart, under hips, and then hands in so we can have a look at the position. From here, side cat-cow is exactly that. So we're going to look to the right first, and then we're going to push our hips to the left. Right? And then the other way, inhale, and then exhale, pushing to the right. So you move as far as you need to with the cat-cow. So just have a bit of a feel for that before we move on to the next posture. And then, for you guys, it'll just be the same on here. So you can just come down. So from here, that's that side cat-cow, right? We're stretching the side. And our spine is actually still moving in that same way as moving from the side. Fantastic work. So don't forget to breathe, guys. Breathe in and then breathe out as we go around. Excellent. Being the first week, no one's going to be expecting you to be able to have that all connected, but over the coming weeks, that's something that I ask you to be mindful of, to see if then we're connecting the breath to our movement. Fantastic work. Cool. All right, from here, excellent. The next move, what we'll be doing, is sun salutations. Okay, this one will be a little bit different. So for those of you, we're coming up now to stand. We're going to come to the front of the mat. And then you guys can do that as well that are in the chair. So from here, again, we're always building up from the ground up. A good foundation will always set the precedent for building on top of it. And then if you feel the wobbles at the top, that's all right, trees wobble. So if you've got a good base, you know that you can wobble at the top here, and then that's also working on the balance. Oh, there we go, a little bit of flossing there. See, all right, it's with the grandkids. All right, okay, so we'll have a look. All right, we'll be rocking and rolling a little bit, right? So from here, let's look down at our feet. All right, and then so we're building on that again. If we can try and have our feet facing forward, looking at using the lines as the markers or the side of the chair, hip distance apart. Yes. From here, then maybe lift your toes up and then put them down. Maybe rock forward so we can see where our balance is. Right? And what we're aiming for once we're still in a moment is having the contact so that the front of our foot and the back of our foot is there. Right? So this is really important for our balance, and we'll be getting to that. Terry knows all about the balance and the little windmills that we're doing. Right, I'm going to sing you out, Terry. Right, so hopefully you're not feeling ostracised. Right, here's the man here's with the exam. We should be at the front here, mate. Oh, no more backseat bandit for you from now on. Alright. Alright, so from here, then we're coming into what we call mountain pose. That's the first part of the legs. From here, I'm just going to turn to my side now, is we always, when I say micro bend, is when we try not to lock out those knees. Right, that's a recipe for I'm trying to reduce the amount of injury. So we always keep that micro bend in the knee where the knee's not locked out. And that's what I mean, right? So we're not fully locked out, so that the knee's back, they're just slightly bent. You don't need to be bending over, but you know that there's a slight kink in the knee. From there, our hips are forward. So what we're trying to do now is if you could put your hands on your hips, right? The blokes of the West, just maybe get your thumbs and your fingers, and then try and feel for your hips there, moving them forward. Right. Right, there's no Viagra coming down range here, so look oh, sorry. I'll try and keep things a little bit light here so that we can have a bit of a laugh around this, okay? So it's, hopefully I'm not offending anyone. Okay, so we're feeling our hips. So from there, we're going to actually slightly tuck the tailbone. So slightly push that forward and sort of tucking the tailbone slightly. From here, some of you might find, depending on how we're all built differently, so you might find that hands by the sides, right, loose shoulders, or at the front, right, your palms facing forward. For me, my shoulders sit outright like this, so for me that's the most comfortable. So we're in a neutral position. We don't want to be forcing on the side, all right? Okay, from here is placing our hands. This is called mountain pose. Our shoulders are back, and then our chin is slightly tucked so that we can keep our gaze sort of looking forward and down. Right, this is called mountain pose. And if we can imagine now, we're spiking down from our heels to the top of our head. That's where our center of gravity is. So boom, this is a nice solid stance here to start off with. All right, if you're feeling comfortable, you can put your feet together. If not, this is a more stable position that I recommend for your balance when you're doing this. So the first thing we're doing is what we're going to be doing is called forward fold. Right, so we'll go down and do this slowly, and then if you're on the chair as well, we can give the example, so I'll give that in a moment. So from here, can you see me there? Don't worry, the camera's there. Alright, so from here forward fold is we're going to inhale as we lift our hands up to the sky, looking at our thumbs. From here we're going to hinge from our hips and exhale as we hinge down, looking down, bend, take a slight bend in the knees now, bend them as much as you need. You might look at the belly to thighs until our hands touch the ground or on a block. So you can grab your block if that works for you. Right, it's coming down today, and then reaching up. This is where we're breaking it down to. So you can stand up, so I can show you the example. Right, so from here is we can grab the block in one hand, standing in mountain pose. And then so when we lift our hands as well, if any of us have got shoulder mobility issues, right, you don't have to come out to the side. Right, you might come up like this, or you might come up and then a combination where the shoulders aren't lifting. We're not looking for our shoulders to touch our ears. So you only move, if you move to here, that's fine. That's hands overhead. We're looking to the tips of the fingers, okay? So from here, block to the sky. We're looking to the sky as we breathe in. Next thing is to breathe out, hinging from our hips. We can bend our knees. Last thing is to go to the head. Our block is there so that we can keep some support. And then our head's the last thing to come down. That's called the forward fold. So let's give that a shot, right? How's that with the block? Does anyone else need a block? We'll all do that with the block if you can't touch the ground, if that's okay. With the chair, all right, you can do it like this. If it's a little bit difficult, and if you need the chair, up and then down here, still bending the knees, belly to chest, and then the last thing is on the head. The other option there as well, if you're feeling that you can't stand up, is to come up from here. This actually help you forward fold down and to forward fold, belly to chest, again with the block and your head. Alright, so that's the first part of the sun salutation. So we'll do that a couple of times since we've warmed up the back a little bit, and we'll see what we're doing. So I'm going to do this with the block with you, so we're all sort of getting used to the movement. From here, blocks out, hands out. Excellent work for our own. Comfortable, inhaling. Hands to sky, looking at the block. Exhaling, hinging at the hips. Block comes down to ground. We can bend our knees, belly to thighs. And the last thing to move is your head. Fantastic work here. And then same, we're going to go again differently, the other way, is inhaling as we come up one vertebrae at a time. Keep your arms loose. Last thing is to roll your shoulders back, hands to the top, and then back down. So we'll go through that again. So I'm just going to give a quick demonstration, which I should have given before, my apologies, for how the movement will look when we're going to be doing this, all right? So I'll explain it. Mountain pose, feet, hands, inhaling with the shoulders, how that feels comfortable for you, looking to the sky. From here, I'll give you the example so you can see what I'm talking about when I'm doing it. Exhaling, hinging at the hips, right? If you're in the chair, that's all right. We can bend down, block, or feet. So belly to thighs means that we can bend here, because what we're doing is trying to stretch that lower back out. And then from here, when I say the last bit to move is the head, your head's like bobbling, so you want that to be loose, okay? We don't want to be keeping and dumping on the back of our neck. So that's the position. When we come back up, for the moment, is then we're going to stack up one vertebrae at a time, like unkinking. Shoulders come back, then hands raised, and then back down the center line to finish. Right, so we'll do that. Is everyone cool with that? And you know your modifications for the seats. All right, so let's do this now. We'll do this 3 times from mountain pose. All right, so I'll do one with you, and then the other 2 I want to see what the form's like. If that's okay, I'll cue you through it. So from here we set, look at our feet. Right, toes up and then down, rocking backwards and forwards, feet shoulder width apart. From here, mountain pose is inhaling, arms up, looking to sky, gaze to thumbs, exhaling, hinging from the hips, bending the knees, belly to thighs, block down, last thing to go is the head. From here, I just want you to give yourself some yes, no's, just to see whether you're letting your head go a little bit, right? You can let your belly go, you don't need to suck it in, right? Let the belly go if you're feeling that, and then inhaling, coming one vertebrae at a time, loose hands as we come up to the top, shoulders roll back, hands come out. Yeah, they can come out, yes, you were right. And then exhaling. So we're just doing it slow because, you know, as in the military, okay, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. We're learning to be able to connect our breath to the movement, and I think that's the biggest difference with yoga to any other sort of going to the gym straight away, or that I do these movements now to breath at the gym. But you'll find that you can really see what the body's wanting and needing from that time. So yes, as we come up, the shoulders will come back. We're just setting, and then that way then we're coming up with the shoulders, because what happens is we're stretching our shoulders and they're coming apart, and then as we come up, then we roll them back to set, and then we're coming up. So if we've been to an EP at the gym, it's really getting that full range of movement for the shoulders, especially if we're grabbing stuff from from a cupboard, or reaching down like that, reaching for the plant across. That's what we're doing now to warm it up. So let's do this 2 more times. Sitting at the feet, chairs as well, fantastic work, shoulders back, hands out. So if that's it. Cool, from here, inhaling, eyes to sky, looking at the hands, exhaling, hinging at the hips now, coming down, bending the knees, belly to thighs, touch down with the block, head's the last bit to release. Now give it a couple of yes or no's. Right, so we're going to be breathing in through our nose or mouth now as we come back up. Breathing in slowly, stacking one vertebrae at a time. As we come and stand, our shoulders come back, head's the last thing to come, look forward, looking up, and then exhaling down the center line. All right, fantastic. Now when we come back down the center line, I want you to imagine that the crown of our head and our heels are spiking into the ground. So it's that push and pull, and we're lengthening our spine as we come down. All right, so this is the last time we'll be doing this from here. Inhaling, eyes to sky, exhaling, down, hinging at the hips, touching down with the block or hands. Last thing to go is the head. All right, this is forward fold. Yes or no? Inhaling now, coming out of it. Coming back up to mountain pose. shoulders back, arms up, and then exhaling. And if you feel that when you breathe in and you've got enough full, is just hold it and retain that so that when we get to the top of the movement, then we exhale. That's also a good thing to be able to reset the nervous system. We're going to be adding to that in a moment. All right, this is called halfway lift, so I'm going to give a demonstration from our forward fold position. But think of it like a bookshelf, right? So we're going to be coming here and providing support like a bookshelf. Where's one over here? It's over here. Right, so John's going to point that out. We've got that 45 degrees. So this is what we're doing from this position. From the forward fold, and your knees might be bent, is we're straightening our legs but keeping a micro bend in the knees, and then looking forward. Our hands could be on the blocks, or we could place our hands on our legs. And then the gaze is looking straight down, so our neck is forward. So you see that's the tabletop, it's flat. Alright, so that's what we're doing. So we'll do this movement, right? It's just lengthening and straightening, and then back down, and then releasing our head. For the chair, if you wanted to do it standing up, right? Or I'll give you the sitting down version. From here, if you're standing up, forward fold, and from here, that position with your hands is the support that you're providing instead of your legs. For the chair, coming up, coming down here, again, it's sitting up, you know, pick me at the credit card, right? So that's what we're doing, okay? So everyone's got their own modifications, and what we'll be doing now is just feeling that transition by numbers from the forward fold to the halfway lift. Jeez, I'm a bit tongue twisted this morning. All right, so let's give it a shot, everyone. Does anyone need a drink? Grab a drink. All right. By numbers, let's look at our feet first. Again, looking down at the feet, lifting up the toes if you can, or rocking backwards and forwards. Feet shoulder width apart. Tilting the pelvis a little bit forward. Hands and shoulders back now, looking straight in front, maybe gazing to the tip of the nose. From here, inhaling. Eyes to sky, looking at the fingers. Exhaling, hinging at the hips. Belly to thighs, touch down with the block with the hands. Last thing to release is the head. And we're shaking. And then from here, we're breathing in, straightening the legs and putting our hands on our legs and looking straight down, halfway lift. Excellent work. And then back down, releasing. So again, like we were talking about that balloon earlier on, let's do this 2 more times, just to see and get a feel for it. Exhale. I'll cue it. Inhaling, halfway lift, exhaling, bending the knees. Now, I want you to try that 2 more times yourself in your own time. So that movement, that's it, straightening the back and exhaling, loosening down. Now give yourself a bit of a yes-no once you're at that bottom position, so then you know you're loosening your head a little bit. There we go. Yes, we can get tight there. Fantastic work. Yes, that's the way. Excellent. Micro bend in the knees. All right, so we'll all meet now in mountain pose. All right, so this is where it gets a little bit, we can get a little bit spicy for this one. Actually, okay, yes, let's do it. This is how we all, I just wanted to ask, how are you guys has anyone done a push-up in a while? No? Okay, no worries.
That's enough already.
What's that?
That's enough already.
That's enough already? Okay, so from here, let's just, I'll just adjust each time so then we can build, so we can see where we're at. So let's just do this combination 1 more time so that we can bed in where we are with our modifications. This is the part of the sun salutation A. Alright, so from here, let's take the block, or if you prefer not to have a block, and we'll do this for 2 rounds, is do our forward fold and halfway lift combination. So from here, inhaling, eyes to sky, exhaling, hinging at the hips, touching down. Head's the last thing to go. We might want to give ourselves a bit of a shake here, head yes or nose, just to loosen the head. All right, coming up to halfway lift. Inhaling for support, straighten the legs, look straight down, right, straighten the back. Legs, our hands are on our legs for support or on the chair. Exhaling. Right, deflating like a balloon. Inhaling again. Inflating. That's what's going to be there. And then exhaling. And then coming back all the way now, stacking the spine. Inhaling, 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 stacking the spine one thing at a time. Roll the shoulders back. Hands come all the way into the sky. And then imagining we're spiking down on our heels and then growing taller. Right, on the parade ground. Fantastic work, everyone. All right, because the time's gone so quickly, we're going to be fine. That's our way for the standing today. All right, we'll work on balancing in the following weeks. I just wanted to see where everyone is and give some modifications for this part. So let's find our way to our knees if you can. And then guys, with the chair, I'll give a modification for that in a moment. So let's find ourselves in tabletop. So as we started earlier on, yes, give yourself some room. So if you wanted to move your, yes, yeah, so then that way, when we come down to our prone position, you're still on the mat. Fantastic work. All right, so we're finding ourselves seated up, hands on the knees with the chair. From here, all right, what I want you to do is we're going to just work on this slowly. All right, and I'll give a demonstration first. This is just coming down into our plank position. From here is we just tucking our toes and moving our right foot back. And then the next one is our left foot back. That's the push-up position. And then coming down again, opposite way, left, right, and we're back in our tabletop. All right, so that's it, 1, 2. So from here for the guys in the tabletop position is inhale to set, exhale, right leg back. Inhale to set, exhale, left leg back. And then you can tap your knees down both or one at a time. So I'm just going to ask you to continue on with that movement to see where we're at. But we're moving into what they call high plank. Excellent, that's a good form, right? And then for the ones that are in the chair, this could be the one that could help you out. So we're standing again, if I could ask you for a stand. From here, right, take the chair, take that part of the chair, yes. The chair will become your best friend. From here, same again, but with our plank position, it's coming down, forearms. One forearm at a time. And then we're still keeping our gaze to our hands. So from here, 1, 2, and then we can shift our weight forward. So we're coming into a plank. Yes, excellent. So one step at a time, right hand down, right elbow down, left elbow down. We're gazing to our hands. And then from here we can come back up, 1, 2, and that's just assessing and then coming forward a little bit. Excellent work. Fantastic. So if you can try that a couple more times, guys. Fantastic. 1 elbow down, 2 elbows down, looking and then forward. Yep. 1. Okay. Yep. Come up one more on the elbows. Fantastic. Push up, push up, push up. There we go. Yes. And then so into the push up position from here. Right. So I'll show you. So from here, right, when we're down here, and we can push up to the front, so that then we can bring our weight forward a little bit. Yeah. So but make sure that we're not locking out your elbows. So one more time, and then you can push up, and then bring our weight forward. So we're bringing this combination down. Fantastic. How are we going with that in the plank? Coming into plank, holding it for a breath.
Breathing. How's the breathing going?
The breathing goes. Great question. So from here, this is just doing this in numbers, right? So when we go through the whole flow, I just wanted you to be able to feel that we're moving into the position. That's it. So from here, inhale to set. So I always inhale to set before making the movement, right? So the out breath is moving the limb to the position. So from here, as we breathe in to set, and then exhale, right foot back. Inhale to set, left foot back. And then inhale to set, and the knees down. So you can choose to bring both knees down or one knee down at a time. This is just coming into that push-up position because we've not been there before. All right, so we're doing this all by numbers. That's it, 1 foot back, pushing the heel back, and then the next one is push the right hand back, 1 full breath here, and then bang. That's it, excellent work. Now with that as well, so if you don't really need to be able to pick up the leg to move it forward with your knee, right? So from here, you can just, with your foot back, is just slide the foot back. So when we bring it down, you don't need to pick it all the way out. Right, so then that way we're pushing our heel and then stretching the back of the leg. Yes. So whichever's working for you, so you don't need, that's it, and then forward again. There we go. So you don't need to pick it up all the way. You'll feel that difference here. Fantastic. Great work, guys. And then so that way what we're doing is when we come back into position, we know that our hips are always safe underneath our knees are underneath our hips, and then our hands are underneath our shoulders. So what we're doing is our weight distribution is even, which reduces the chances of injury and also sets a good base for the start. All right, fantastic work. All right, so let's grab a seat now, everyone. That's all the hard work done. Let's shake it out. All right, how an hour goes pretty quickly, hey? Not quick enough. All right. So from here, we can make our way to our back. Make your way to your back. Or from there, you can take an easy seat. So whichever works well for you, actually. Yeah, work your way to the back. From here, for those in the seat, just wait a moment, but just for whoever else is on a mat, if you can make your way to your back. What we're doing now is feeling the ground with our back, and I'll describe it to you in a moment. So the back of our tailbone is touching, right, and the top of our butt is touching the ground. See if you can notice, you feel that your shoulders are apart, right, so you can wiggle them a little bit, and the whole back's touching the ground, right, so we're not arching the middle of our back at all. We're trying to make contact with the whole back to the ground, as well as our head. So if you do a couple of yes, no's, once we're in this position, hands can be on by the sides, and you can choose to bend your knees or keep your feet forward. Right, this is the final resting position, or Savasana. So this is one version of it. So you can choose to keep your knees up and down. So from here, just have a bit of a feel to see where we are now. So what you're looking for is splitting your shoulders apart, and then having the whole back on the ground, feet flat on the floor. Fantastic. Knees shoulder width apart. For the guys in the chair, let's come back to the back of the seat. So we're using the full length. What we're looking for now is our tailbone, right, is in the back of the crook of the chair. Our shoulders are back, so we're opening up the shoulders a little bit, and you can actually grab underneath the chair just to be able to grab that. And then we're just, that's like your Shavasana. That's that relaxed sort of spot where then our hands are by the side. Okay, that's where we are. Or the other one is it's the opposite. You can bend down and then just let our back come down like that, whichever it feels more comfortable for you. But that's that sort of final resting position. And then in the coming weeks, I'll show you some other ones as well for this. All right. So from here, we're going to do some windshield wipers. So if our knees are up again, from here, I'll come back to you guys in the chairs. Right, is a windshield wipering our knees from the side. So we're not moving our feet, we're just slowly, so breathe in to set, and then breathe out to move the legs. So you can move them as little or as much as you want. Your knees don't need to touch the side. And what you might notice is that the side body also stretches as we're coming down. This is called the supine twist, or the windshield wipers. One of the last moves that we're doing, just so that we can loosen our sacrum, or the lower back, our tailbone. And this is where we do a lot of twisting during the day. All right, so we can come in here, we'll do a couple more rotations while I have these guys. So same again, if that works for you, is to lift one knee up, right, and then pull it to the side, and then come back down. All Right, so we're just rotating our lower back and the spine as well.
If we have a dicky knee that doesn't bend,
Yes.
what can we do?
Yes, great question. What we can do, if we've got a dicky knee and it doesn't bend, what we can do is then bend down and then reach to one side and then coming up, because what we're doing is when we're rotating down. So don't worry about your knee. If your knee's a bit dicky, great question. Is just come forward and then you can reach down. That's the way, and then use the other hand as a support to come down. Right, so, and our gaze goes to that foot that we're touching. So you can help your ankles are down. So what we're doing is we're stretching that lower back as we come down. Right? Fantastic work, everyone. And then from here, if you can make your way up to seated. Cross the legs. So this is called easy seat. So whichever way you find comfortable. Easy seat, sitting up. Our sit bones are both touching the ground or in the chair. You could actually move back and then lean back into the back of the chair. All right, hands on the knees or whatever's comfortable. This is called easy seat, nice and simple, as we did from the start. So from here, we're going to close down the eyes or take a soft gaze again. 2 cleansing breaths, breathe in and then out. Seal the practice, inhaling and then exhaling. Last one, or you could put that, if you need a block, you could whack them underneath or straighten the legs, whichever works for you. All right, from here, we're going to inhale, raise the hands in the air, bring them together, thumbs together, close down the eyes, you don't need this, right? As we exhale, we're going to bring the thumbs between our eyes, or in yoga traditional terms, within the third eye. And we're going to take a breath in here, inhale, and exhale, to clarify thought. Now take your thumbs to your mouth, inhale, exhale, to clarify speech. What we say internally and externally makes such a big difference. And then last of all, hands down towards between our heart to clarify intent. And this is the part where if you set your own intent at the start, or allowing yourself with my intent to say a big thank you for coming today and giving it a shot. This is where we seal the practice. With one more inhale and exhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. And then that's what we say as well, is the namaste seals the practice. And then that's what we usually do at the end. It's a bit of gratitude work, right? It's a non-religious gesture to be able to just clarify your intent. Or, you know, if it's religious to you, that's cool. If not, that's just more about clarifying our intent for the practice and thanking ourselves. Excellent. So thank you so much. I hope that was, that went really quick. So we'll be building on that next week. So I hope to be able to see all your amazing faces and next week, so we can build on our practice. If you have any questions, please, I'll be hanging around here. If you could help me pack up some of the mats, that'd be great. If not, if you've got to get out of here, that's fine as well. And then lastly, you might have seen when you signed up, or if you haven't seen the email, as part of RSL Active, we sign you up to our online platform. As you can see, we're recording this. So if you're not as computer literate, on the email it'll have a link to me showing you how to be able to set it up. But when you sign on, that's part of the, it gives you access to our 6-week beginner yoga course, which is online. And the reason for that is then that way you can go in at any time and access that if there was anything during the class that you didn't quite get or you want to bed that down. Also, in the bonus resources, I'll record this so then if you feel that you want to get some more practice at home, you can do so in the comfort of your own home on demand. All right. Please, if you're having trouble, let me know and just fire out an email, so then that way I can send a link to how to do it on the computer or on your smartphone device. We're all here to be able to make sure that you've got the access and get the most benefit and value out of the RSL Active program. And then lastly, with the emails, I don't want to bombard you too much, but I do try and send a reminder the day before via text or via email, so then that way you know that the program's happening and if there's any changes. So that's the most there. I'm not going to be trying to sell anything to you, all right? Might be trying to sell you some solar power, I don't know. I'm going to go to my call centre job afterwards. No, I'm only joking. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Terrific, mate. We'll have a couple more next week. You'll be okay by then.
Yes.